The only comedy that is for me that I don't love is when it turns into like they're talking to their therapist.
Oh yeah.
I'm always and I love comedy, but for me, I'm always like I want to get under my chair now. This is
Yeah,
making me
yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Or if it becomes a TED Talk, that's what I'm like, you know. And again, I see comedy all the time at all different levels. Open mic level, new
Uh-huh.
people, seasons. And sometimes you can see some of the pitfalls that the younger guys would get into because they're trying to be Chappelle, but too early. They're not there yet.
Right.
And you can't say these things or if it's not
Wow.
written to that level or delivered to that level, and you're just throwing
Wow.
out your opinions on stuff without a good punchline or whatever, it can fall very flat. So yeah, yeah, I think, but that's the only way to learn is to do it. It's the only way
Yeah.
to get better is to do it. So
Yeah.
it's a
Kind
weird,
of
yeah, conundrum.
go fail, right? Go out there and
Exactly.
fail.
You got to go
Yeah,
fail.
but that's I can't imagine, yeah, having to be a comedian now and having to almost edit in real time, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that, but I feel for people that have that calling and also have to put a muscle on themselves. It's a
Except the
tough one.
yeah, and I think too, like if you, I don't know if you were a fan back in the day of like Howard Stern when he was on regular
Uh,
radio. I think part of the magic of the early Howard was that he was going around the FCC. He was beating them at the game. He was being dirty, but without being dirty. Like, blank a doodle
right,
doo. Cock, what
right,
is
right,
cock
right.
a doodle doo? That's a big cock and
Yeah,
all that. So he was doing these outrageous things, but getting away with it because he was beating the system. And I think that's made him a better, I think he was better then than he is now when he's got this freedom to say whatever he wants. But I think with comedy and having this kind of woke culture that they're kind of wiggling around, I think that makes them better comedians in a sense because they're going around the system. It's forcing them to
right.
outthink it, how do I say this without offending everybody? Oh, okay, maybe I could go around this way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Saturday Night Live's in the same boat, right? They because I don't know who's I always hear it's not as good. And to be honest with you, I'm not really watching it these days. So I don't
Right,
know.
yeah.
I think that they probably have to navigate a lot more than any other generation had to.
I think what happened with comedy that took a turn, whether it's the late night shows or SNL or any of this kind of more corporate type of comedy shows, is that they did go one direction, and whether wherever you stand on it, I don't think people always want this stuff constantly being fed a certain directive. So I
Right.
think that takes away from it. I think that's why we're seeing these late night shows failing, and we see SNL now. I think SNL is maybe changing their ways and coming to more back to the middle, where everything should be. It should always be equal
Yeah.
in the middle when you're making fun of people. Because if it goes one way or the other, you lose half your audience, and it's it gets crazy because ideology is blurred line. So.
Yeah. I can't remember who said it, but if I think if you're making fun of people in power, that's awesome. If you're making fun of people without power, that's just mean.
Right, right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So I
punching
think,
down versus yeah,
if you're in power and you're open, it's open hunting season on you. You just have to understand that, and everyone should chill out and know that they can take it. If you're gonna make fun of somebody, you're gonna make fun of Trump or Kamala, or you're gonna make fun of that. That's all part of the game.